The Halo TV series has been a complete abomination so far. We are talking about countless retcons and really bad story decisions. But of course, we're now finding out that we are free of Master Cheeks because Halo has been canceled after only 2 seasons at Paramount Plus. I have a few things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I love the Halo games. I think they're fantastic, and there is so much amazing lore to go off of, but they basically decided going into this TV show that they were going to switch things up, which of course is not a good decision. They did not make something that I would ever want to watch again. Heck, I didn't even want to finish both these seasons the first time I had to watch them, never mind having to be forced to watch them again. But it doesn't seem like many people really enjoyed this series because it has now been canceled. This is a Deadline article that I'm going to be referencing. It says Paramount Plus has canceled Halo, Deadline has confirmed. The news comes a few months after season 2 of the live action video game adaptation premiered on the streamer in February. Now, first of all, I feel like this news came with a lot of wait, season 2 came out responses. It doesn't really seem like they did a good job marketing season 2 because a lot of people did not even realize it had come out months ago. But this is a major issue, is the fact that all of the talk surrounding this show has been negative except for the shills. I mean, there was a lot of media outlets trying to defend this show when it first came out, like Kotaku, Polygon, but as time has gone on and we've gotten further away from season one's release, and we had gotten season 2, which did not make things any better, the response stayed generally the same, and a lot of people did give up on it. It says Amblin Television, Xbox, and 343 Industries are currently shopping Halo in hopes of finding it a new home, Deadline understands. So it sounds like Paramount was sick and tired of shoving a bunch of money into this, and we know that season 1 had a budget of around $10 million per episode, which puts season 1's overall spend at around $90 million for 9 episodes, which is quite a hefty chunk of change. We don't know exactly how much season 2 cost. One would assume it was higher than that, around $100 million, but we're never going to know for sure. They definitely didn't want to admit how much they've spent on this catastrophe, though the news says that apparently Xbox and 343 are shopping it around and hoping to find it a new home, but that sounds like a terrible idea. I think they just need to leave this thing in the past, and they ultimately need to forget about it, because we are living in a time where there are tons of live action video game adaptations coming out, and the mediocre ones will not do the job, right? The mediocre ones will not stand the test of time. Never mind the ones that are awful, like Halo. I don't know what they're thinking besides, oh, hey, we just need to blow some money and we need another adaptation. But at the same time, I just don't think that this is smart. It says we are extremely proud of this ambitious series and would like to thank our partners at Xbox 343 and Amblin Television, along with the showrunner and executive producer David Weiner, his fellow executive producers, the entire cast led by Pablo Schreier, and Master Chief, and the amazing crew for their outstanding work. They did not do outstanding work. We are talking about a show where you had the lead actor saying, if you don't like it, don't watch it, basically admitting that they were going to be making massive changes and they didn't really care about feedback. That is not a way to approach fans or get people to actually show up to watch your series. Now, like I said, I am a big fan of the games. I've loved all of them except for maybe one or two, but they made a boatload of changes and retcons to the canon. Now, they did initially try to say that it was like a different timeline and it wasn't quite the same world, but at the same time, they've tried to heavily market it as a video game adaptation that follows the iconic journey, right? So they were trying to market it as if it was, a one-to-one, but at the same time, they kind of at the beginning were not. I think that they had shifted their mentality with marketing when they realized nobody was watching the series, so they had to start heavily trying to market it to the people who had bought the video games. But this is a major problem with adaptations, as they make changes and then a small change becomes a slightly larger change, and then you have a pile of problems. But here are 10 that, in at least Screen Rant's opinion, were the most important, the ones that really started to change the story, which I do generally agree with. First off, you have Cortana. She's an AI developed by Dr. Halsey based on her own brain patterns. In this series, Cortana gives Halsey physical and mental control over any Spartan she is implanted in. By making Cortana a tool to literally control Spartans, the writers are giving the audience a look at what motivates the Doctor, and she will acquire more knowledge about the Forerunners by any means necessary. And of course, this led to the end of season 1, Cortana basically watching, spoiler alert, Master Chief die, and then she used his body as a skin suit in order to control his, Spartan suit. It was a disaster of a decision. We also had John's backstory. Master Chief's seemingly unique revealed ability to activate Forerunner technology with the touch of his hand is a big departure from the games, but the show goes further, showing a young John coming into contact with Forerunner technology before ever becoming a Spartan. In the games, the Chief is simply in the right place at the right time to have a huge influence on galactic events. This was also very disappointing. Another issue with a lot of series like this, like the Book of Boba Fett, for example, or The Mandalorian, is that these characters who traditionally never showed their faces are suddenly taking their masks off at any given chance. They're constantly running around with their masks off, and it really takes you out of the experience. Of course, with Halo, a big part of it was that you never really knew who Master Chief was, except for the occasional snippets of information and backstory that you got, and you really only got like 1 or 2 per game, if that. But then in the show, he's constantly got his helmet off, he's constantly making, rash decisions. It's just a major change that, in my opinion, does not show something unique that also makes sense to Halo. You can, again, make small alterations while still staying true to the source material, but that isn't what happened with this. And then we have John's relationship with Halsey. Instead of meeting with John once as in the games, this series establishes that they meet several times while John's parents are still alive. This creates conflict between the two when the Chief realizes he wasn't simply an orphan when he was taken, and gives context to their relationship. The discovery of the Halo ring. Master Chief's ship discovers the first Halo ring seemingly by accident in Combat Evolved. While Halo has yet to reveal the ring itself, the circumstances of its discovery are already markedly different. The Forerunner artifacts, combined with knowledge gleaned from a translation of Covenant communications, has shown the UNSC they are looking for a ring-shaped object. The technology is closely guarded secret in the show, which is helpful from the audience perspective, and it keeps the big picture goal in sight. So they made a heck of a lot of really bad decisions when it came to the show, and honestly, I can't say that I'm very surprised they ultimately decided to cancel it. Now, will we end up getting a season 3 because it gets shopped around? There is that possibility. I know that I personally am not looking forward to it. I don't even know if I would watch it. I've tried to give this a chance at several different, occasions now, because I watched the 2 seasons, and I could not be any more disappointed with the choices that they made. And judging by average audience members, some who played the game, some who didn't, I mean, the best this show could muster was a 52% audience score. Now, the critics are, of course, being generous. This is why I don't trust critic ratings. They gave it a 70, but audiences gave it a 50. I think it's closer to like a 30 to a 35 max, but a 50 is still not good, especially when you're talking about a show that cost over $200 million to make between the 2 seasons. So it will be interesting to see if 343 and Xbox decide to continue it, and they do find someone while they're shopping around to keep going with this just utter catastrophe. But as of right now, Master Cheeks is no more. We are free from the torture because Halo has been canceled after 2 seasons at Paramount Plus. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.